everybody. So excited to be hanging out with you guys and joining you today as we really start exploring this idea of thinking bigger. And I want to just say thank you to Elizabeth, everybody that I've talked about this idea of, hey, let's kind of do like this book club discussion where I invite other people and to join us has been completely 100% on board. They're like, this is a great idea. So you guys, inside of the link, Elizabeth's going to throw in a link for you guys where you're going to be able to download this book for free. It is called The Magic of Thinking Big. So if you are the kind of person who likes to read on PDF, feel free to just grab that copy or grab your copy on site of Amazon. This is going to be the discussion for the entire summer. And I don't think that this could have come at a more pivotal time in history for us to really focus on thinking big and thinking successful and not thinking about defeat and negative thoughts and all of that kind of stuff, because our entire climate right now, when it comes to the tutoring industry, really depends on it. These kids, they need us. They need us to be able to be those people that are thinking big and can really make a huge impact on their lives. So I am super excited to be joining you guys with Elizabeth today. Elizabeth is my virtual assistant who helps out inside of the Ultimate Support Group, the Insider Secrets Club. She is my right hand girl. I mean, like, all I have to do is like send a message to her and it was like done yesterday. I mean, everybody needs an Elizabeth in their life. So thank you for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk with you and hang out. So
I know
it's a
we've
lot of
got
fun.
we've got lots of people inside of the house today that are with us as well. We've
Awesome.
got Robin DeMarco and Dawn Porta. We've got Matt Mankin, woo, woo, Ramona Janelle. She's already started answering our question of the day, which is great. So our question of the
Awesome.
day today is, what does success mean to you? And inside of, let's see who else, we've got David Friedman. Hello, hello. Awesome. So thanks for joining us, you guys. And again, we're really going to be talking about how do we start getting more success in our lives by thinking successful thoughts. Here, the very first chapter that we're going to be chatting about today says that success means personal prosperity. Now that looks different for everybody, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to have like all of the nicest things, because that might not be what personal prosperity means to you. It means financial security. We need financial security in order to be, feel successful. It means leadership. It means being looked up to. It means freedom. It means self respect. And success means winning, right? You get to win when you are successful. Nobody enjoys, he says, living in mediocrity. Anybody
Mm.
like, I just love when the bills come and I can't pay them. It's like, awesome, man. Like, nobody thinks that, right? Nobody thinks that. And so, as tutors, we need to rise up to this level of success with our business, right? You know that if we think we can, we can't. And if we think we can't, we can't. Like, that's not, I'm not spouting off a brand new thought or idea there. It's been said over and over again, but it is so true. So I'm curious, Elizabeth, what does success mean for you?
That's a really good question. So success means to me, first of all, I really like the word that you used just a minute ago, freedom. Freedom to be able to do what you want to do in life and not I think all the time about freedom from worry. Freedom
Mm.
from worrying about money and finances and all of those kinds of things. Um let's see, what else does it mean to me? um yeah, just being able to be confident and um to be able to have a career and a role that is fulfilling and meaningful to you, I think. So
Oh
that,
my
I guess, in
gosh,
a
yeah.
nutshell.
You know what? That makes a huge difference in life. Now, I before I started doing my tutoring online, I started playing with some different industries, like completely different industries from teaching in general, and I
Yeah.
wasn't happy. Like, I had this sick feeling in my gut all of the time, and
Hmm.
it didn't feel right and it didn't feel good. But as soon as I started tutoring, and as soon as I started getting like students, every single piece of it excited me. Like, every day
Yeah.
I'd wake up and I'd be like, like pinching myself, like, this is really true. Like, this is what I get to do. Like, this is so awesome. I absolutely love it. And Ramona put in here, being of service to others and affecting change, being able to support her family.
I
There's
love
nothing
that.
that feels better than being able to support your own family. I sometimes think, I know this is kind of a negative thought, but if something were to happen to my husband, would I be able to support my family? And the answer is hands down yes. I have a lot of people who ask, like, is tutoring a sustainable business? It absolutely is a sustainable business. It's to the point where I don't need my husband's income in order to survive, but having his income just increases the amount of how easy our lives get to be.
Right.
And when you
Absolutely.
have the money to do what you want when you want, life doesn't seem to be so much of a chore anymore.
Yeah.
Money isn't,
Absolutely.
it's not holding us back from, like, oh, I can't do that because I don't have enough money. How many times do you hear people say those kinds of things, right?
I've said those things plenty of times myself.
I get to now say I've gotten to change that thought to something different. I've changed that thought to, and this it's really true. It's not just like I've changed this thought because of anything, but now I get to say I don't have to say I can't do that because I don't have enough money. I get to say I don't want to do that because I'm choosing not to spend my money on that,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, that's a
different. It's a
complete
completely different
shift.
mindset, right? A huge shift in, like, okay, is that the value that I perceive? Will I get that value if I put forth that amount of money?
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely. That's a completely different mindset to have, and if you focus on things that have value to you, and I feel like, you know, if something is valuable to you and has that importance to you, then you find a way, I mean, you know, within reason
mm-hmm.
to pay for it, so
Yeah,
so
Don
so
Porta used one word to really describe this really
ooh,
well: fulfillment. Success
I
is
love
fulfillment,
that.
right? Fulfillment of self care, happiness, doing what you love to do. Fulfillment. I love that one word. That's so awesome. And
Hmm.
this has not surprised me from Maria. She said success is helping people to find who they are, where they do shine, and what is their purpose. So being able to help other people be able to come into their own and be able to figure that out. I have a lot of joy in doing that as I help people, like, navigate their tutoring business.
Yeah, and that's perfect for what Maria does as well with her college and career coaching. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool because she really helps people find those paths to what they want to do with their lives. But that's also what you do with your coaching as
Mm-hmm.
well. You help people find, okay, what is the best tutoring path to go down, and how can I be the most successful, and
Yep.
so
And
that's
Suzanne
great.
Davis, who is our, like, blogging guru, she says
Yes.
success for me is being able to help my family and to create a movement of writers that can share their ideas and impact the world. And
Wow.
I know. And now she's doing it. We just created a blogging
Oh yeah.
mastermind that she is in charge of, where tutors can stay focused on creating content so they can get found by people from all over the world, and she's really making that happen. So I think when we start thinking about this, that it's not just that belief, it's not just the wishing that things would happen, but now that you believe this can happen, what actions are you taking? And she's definitely one of those people that is taking actions
Hmm.
that go with it. Um, I love how it says in here, it says you can't wish yourself into a position of leadership. And then I started thinking, well, you can't wish yourself into getting more students.
Right. Oh, nope. I wish that's I wish that's
I
how it
wish I
worked,
could do
but
it. I wish I could just be like, I wish I could get more students. It starts with the belief that you can get more students. So I think some of the
right.
negative thoughts that kind of we need to take a look at for defeating are when people say there's too much competition out there. There's too much competition when we put ourselves in a position where we're competing.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I've learned from you over the last year is you have to find ways to set yourself apart. You have to find ways to make a name for yourself, to create an online presence for yourself, and really set yourself apart from that competition, instead of, as you've said before to me many times, playing where all the other tutors are playing. You have to set yourself apart from that competition,
Yeah.
and it really is possible, because there are way more students out there than any of us could ever teach. So
Absolutely. And in the online platform right now, you guys, our world is in turmoil. I mean, especially here in the United States, we are just going through um, we are just cracking at the seams with everything that is going on with the rioting, with the coronavirus, with all of that kind of stuff. More and more parents are going to feel safer with their kids being at home now more than ever, because of the craziness that's happening outside of our doors. And it is absolute like craziness. And so now more than ever, people are seeking for solutions that are online.
true.
And
Yeah,
so
I
it's possible, right?
absolutely. And I wanted to, if it's okay, bring in an interesting discussion that I saw in the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors this morning. It's our community of tutors that you started. Was that 8 years ago?
Oh my
About
gosh, it
now?
feels like forever. I think it was in 2014 I officially started it under this
Oh,
name.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so it was
gotcha.
about 6 years ago,
Yeah.
I believe. I don't know. I tried the group thing like 5 different times, and this is the one that stuck and started to grow the most.
That's awesome.
But
But
if you guys on
but
Facebook, join us on Facebook, the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors, if you're not there yet.
yes. But there was an interesting conversation going on there this morning about whether people think the um, kind of online pendulum will swing back the other direction once the coronavirus will kind of dies down a little bit, and whether people will want to go back to in-person lessons more, and like people that were in person before, that kind of
Sure,
thing,
sure.
students. And to be honest, I don't see it fully swinging back that other direction. I don't know what you think, but
No,
uh,
I think over time the pendulum has been the online tutoring world has been growing and growing and growing. I've been
mm-hmm.
in this industry since 2010. I've watched it
Yeah.
myself without any pandemics, without any, crushing of governments or whatever is going on right now. I've watched it continually grow. I can see some people obviously going back to
Right.
in-person tutoring because they prefer that method. I can see some parents when they feel safe with their kids being in contact with other people. I can see some of them going back, but I think now that the world has been introduced to this whole new way of doing business, that the online is going to be something that continually grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
I totally agree. I think so too. And so I thought that was a really interesting conversation to hear from people's different sides this
Yeah,
morning in the Ultimate Support Group. We have those kinds of conversations all the time. So
yeah,
so anyway.
yeah. And so on page 10, he talks about belief. The I'm
Yeah.
positive I can attitude generates the power, the skill, and the energy needed to do. When you believe I can
Mm-hmm.
do it, the how to do it develops. This brought up
Oh,
for me
so true.
Terry Grigsby's story. So, Terry, if you're
Yes.
listening, um, shout out to you because I remember you were going through a really tough time in your business. You
Mm-hmm.
had very few students. You were really scared if you were going to be able to get more students. And I remember just saying one thing to you: how many students do you want? And state it in the positive. She did
Mm-hmm.
that. And she put it on a post-it note. She said, I am so excited to be working with 20 students online.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept looking at that. She kept looking at it every single day. She would rewrite it. She'd look at it. And then all of a sudden, one day, she was like, but what am I doing to get those students?
Right.
She had
I
realized that just writing it every day was almost like wishful thinking versus taking action. So first she had to believe that she could do it. And all of a sudden she started believing that she could do it. And all of a sudden now she was like, okay, so if I believe I can do this, then what actions am I taking to actually get it done?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the whole key. And those of you that are listening on the podcast later, I'm smiling from ear to ear because I love this story. But um, Terry's story. But no, that is so the key difference between those that succeed and those that don't is not only believing that you can, but then taking those. And what's so cool is that now when Terry coaches, she teaches not only believing that you can, but then fulfilling that by taking those actions. And she's so much about taking action and doing and getting things done. So it's really cool.
It is very, very cool. And in the book it says belief. Strong belief triggers the mind to figure ways and means and
This
how
part.
to. And believing you can succeed makes others place confidence in you. Most people don't
Mm-hmm.
put too much stock in belief, but some, the residents of Successville, USA, do. All right, so who wants to join me in Successful USA? If you want to join me in Successful USA, I want to see some boom chas in there. For those of you that don't know what the boom cha is, it's the fist and the firework emoji. Um,
Matt
but
Mankin does.
Matt Mankin knows what the boom cha is. So definitely throw that on inside of there because I really do think that this Successful USA. I want as many of you guys as possible to join me in Successful USA. I feel successful. I really do feel successful inside of my business. And I know it keeps
Mm-hmm.
growing and I know it has the ability to keep growing. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next year and putting those pieces into place. But I want as many of you guys to join us in Successful USA as possible. I do not want you guys
And
joining us in, I think he had a negative word for it. I don't know. We'll call it Loserville, USA. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yikes.
Anybody want to join Loserville? No, he didn't. He didn't have a name. I made it up. Like I thought he said something in there, but he didn't. But I love it. What were you gonna say?
Um, oh, I was just gonna say that was one of the most impactful. I never know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. That was one of the most powerful parts of that whole chapter for me was that whole section
Mm-hmm.
um, about um, how do I put it? How did he put it in the book? About taking those beliefs and then turning them into actions and just those that but those that don't believe that they can from the very beginning, they
Mm-hmm.
won't. Like he talked about um mist he called him Mr. He personified them, Mr. Defeat, I think, and Mr.
He
Hold
did.
on.
He called them Mr. Triumph and Mr.
Oh yeah.
Defeat.
Yep.
He said,
And
"Fire, Mr. Defeat,
yep.
and hire Mr. Triumph."
Yep. It kind of reminds me in the compound effect how Big Mo came to pay a visit. Like how if we personify these things in our mind, it kind of makes it easier to, because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, these things can kind of seem abstract, kind of out there concepts, but if you personify them, if you like, make them human almost, it makes them easier to think about. So I that stood out to me.
And just so you know, Suzanne, Successville, USA, does have a lake.
Yes, I love that.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So he says here, you fire Mr. Defeat. You don't need him. You don't want him around telling you what you can't and you can do. You're not up to it. You'll fail, and so on. Right. Use Mr. Triumph 100% of the time. He'll show you how to succeed. So I think this is really, really huge. And this book was written a long time ago, but it says here new industries, new scientific breakthroughs, expanding markets, like the online tutoring market, right? All spell
Yeah.
opportunity. And this is good news. This is the most wonderful time to be alive. Now, I know there's a lot of fear going on right now, and some people are like, but this isn't the most wonderful time to be alive. Yes, it is, because of the opportunities that are all around us. While it may stink that
Absolutely.
we can't go outside of our homes and do lots of things like we used to be able to do, and the world is changing, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to evolve into something that's terrible, right? It may evolve into something that was even better than it ever was. And so that's where I want you guys to come and join us, because it can absolutely happen. I love this. He says, I've heard a lot of reasons and excuses for failure. Have you heard a lot of tutors having reasons and excuses for failure?
I've probably used one or two of them myself, to be honest, before I met
Yes,
you. And
I've probably used them too. I remember at one point I wasn't helping tutors yet. I was all by myself. No, I, I think I was helping some tutors at that time. And I thought, gosh, you know what? Going back into the school system would actually be easier than getting my own students. I remember myself saying that. And then as soon as it came in, I like denied it. I was like, are you kidding me? You're kidding, right? Because like you were completely miserable in the school system. So I don't think you really mean that. I was just frustrated at some point because I didn't have as many students as I wanted.
right, at least you caught it right. I mean, at least you caught it right away. I think like negative thoughts, like it's good to train them out and eventually have less and less, but every once in a while I think they're going to happen. But if you can catch them right away, kind of, um one of the people I listen to says, like, catch them, cancel them, kind of
Oh,
thing.
I like
uh,
that. I like
yeah,
that.
like
Yeah. Yeah, it's so, and that's so true,
so
because these thoughts, they will still go through your head. Like, we're not saying if you're thinking
right.
positively that all negative thoughts now cease to ever make home inside of your brain. I mean, that's not reality. It's going to happen, but what are you going to do now? Right? So, as teachers, we learn about metacognition. That's the thinking about your own thinking. And that's what we're really doing here. We're thinking about our own thinking. What are our thoughts telling us? Right? So, our thoughts might be saying things like, well, online tutoring is not sustainable. People don't pay enough for online tutoring. There are too many tutors that are already out there. None of those thoughts are going to serve you in being able to create the business that you want to be able to create.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, you
um,
guys, when it comes to all of this stuff, let's um, let's continue to stay positive and moving forward with our thoughts. Now, disbelief, like, is a negative
mhm,
power. There's a lot of people
mhm.
who will say, "Okay, I'll give it a try, but I don't think it's going to work."
Yeah, that, I mean, that defeats you from the very beginning, to be
Right.
honest.
Right, because what you think is true. Like, if you think it's not going to work, it's
Yep.
really not going to work.
Mhm.
Hands down, it's not going to work. But I see a lot of tutors that are like, okay, I'll give it a try, but they never actually ask for help in how other
Mm.
tutors have done it successfully, or taken any
Yes.
courses, or trained themselves, or done any of that kind of stuff. And they just think that if they throw out the, like, hey, I'm taking on students right now, or hey, I have all this experience in tutoring, hire me kind of mentality, then we're automatically going to get students, and it doesn't lead to students, and then they think the negative thoughts start turning on in. So we
Mhm.
have to couple, I think, our tutoring business with the right education so that people can hear us when we speak,
Yep.
with the right actions so that we can get people finding us, the
Mhm.
ability to be persistent no matter what. Like, I'm going to
Oh,
always
that
add
is,
value versus try to take things from people.
yes.
And
That
that's
is
huge.
so key. So, so key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people who, I just got a message today from somebody who had said, "Hey, if you ever have students that need help in this area, could you send them to me?"
Mm.
And I could see that the person is taking action, right? But it's not right action.
Right.
Because what we have to know is that tutors do not refer people that they don't know. They feel very strongly like their
Mhm.
tutoring business is their baby.
Yes,
They
it
are
is.
not about to just like suggest somebody as a tutor if they don't know them, because know,
Mm,
like, and trust is such a huge thing. So there are right actions and there are wrong actions. And so you guys keep developing that know how of what those right actions are. I'm so excited. We're going to be opening up a whole new group of our Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass
yeah.
in 2 weeks. And I'm going to be
So
releasing some new
exciting.
videos next week that people get to watch and learn how to grow their online tutoring business. You're going to learn things that are going to keep you in this mindset of successful strategies that work.
Yeah. And what one of my favorite things about the Jumpstart program is that not only do you learn the right strategies from people who have already done them successfully and have gotten students and everything like that, which is amazing, but you do it with a group of people that is doing it all at the same time and can help each other and spur each other along, and so it's an incredible program. So
Mm-hmm. Now, you
yeah.
guys, he mentions inside of chapter 1 3 steps to develop the power belief. Step 1,
Mm-hmm.
think success, don't think failure. That way,
Yep.
you guys, you'll be able to win in this game. He says, when you compete with someone else, think, I'm equal to them. If you're competing, now I say let's get rid of the whole idea of competing and let's collaborate, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, competition does not help you with growing your business. It feels like lack, it feels like negative energy. And so I want to take that out. But there are so many people that do think, you know what? All these other tutors, I'm not like Joanne. You know, Joanne's like incredible. I'll just throw that in
Well,
there.
you
She's
are,
amazing. Like
but
I
yes.
could never compete with her, right? That's what we're talking about. Like,
Right.
you know what? You can be as good as other people, but it starts here. What are you doing to be able to do it? Are you reading? Are you learning? Are you continuing to get the education to be able to know what it is that you need to do?
What I love that you say all the time, and he echoes this sentiment in the book. He says that um how did he say it, that successful people are not supermen, and you say all the time that, you know, when you started, you had 0 students too. You had a zero big fat zero following, and you know, so everybody starts at the same level. You
Mm-hmm.
just invested the time and the energy, and everything else that it took to learn and to grow and to become successful. And so that's really what it takes.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. Step number 2, he says, remind yourself regularly that you're better than you think you are.
mm-hmm.
Because we do, we kind of are like, we kind of have this imposter syndrome thing going on, right? Well, who am I to think that I can do this, right? You're you. You're uniquely you. And everybody has their uniqueness to bring to the stage. And then the last thing, you guys, step number 3 in how to develop the power of belief is to believe big. The size of your
Mm-hmm.
success is determined by the size of your belief. Think little goals, expect little achievements. Think big goals and win big success. Remember this too. Big ideas and big plans are often easier, certainly no more difficult, than small ideas and small plans.
That's so interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
would I mean, I that kind of reminds me of how we use the 90x goal planner, and how we have the little day-to-day goals and plans, but
Mm-hmm.
then we also have the long-term goals and plans, but how the little goals that we have each day or each week or each month lead up to the 90-day goals and plans.
Yeah.
So,
It's those consistent daily actions that we're taking that lead to that bigger result that you
mhm.
can't see off the bat. Like you might be like, okay, I can
Right.
envision this, right? I could see this in the future.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so glad you came and joined us today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button if you're on YouTube with us. Hit that like button if you're on Facebook with us. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to cure yourself of excusitis, the failure disease.
Oh
Excusitis.
boy.
I'm gonna actually learn how to say that better. Excusitis. It's a new disease out there, and we're gonna cure you of
Uh-oh.
it. So if you guys want that
Sounds
cure,
good.
come and join us. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Come join me on Thursday, where I will be sharing all about some of the successes that people in our Jumpstart program are having for getting online tutoring students. All right. Enjoy your day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.